See, I moved it. I moved it after I went live. Sorry about that. Uh, so I cannot tell you how happy I am today not to be screen sharing because that was a mess last week when I was trying to screen share and it was just bad. And now I can't get my little ear pod thing to stay in. I'm using these hoping to cut down on some of the echo that's in this room with no carpeting. It's the room with the best light, but no carpeting. So anyway, how are you guys doing today? I am Pam Barnhill, and I am so happy that you are on here joining me. Hope's here, and she's a new Morning Time subscriber. Okay, Hope, which set of plans are you using? Because it's hard to pick. Um, Jessica's always releasing these wonderful seasonal plans, and I'm feeling bad because I'm in the middle of the Middle Ages plans and like I can't do the seasonal plans. I really want to do the back to school set because of all the bird stuff that's in there. Hello, Crystal. How are you doing? Shelby's here. Dawn is here. Hello, Dawn. Thank you. Amanda's here from Tampa. Love Tampa, Florida. Lived there for 10 years. Jeanette's here. So it's so good to have you guys today. Well, we are talking today about barriers to consistent homeschooling. What is it that keeps you from being consistent in your homeschool? And I can speak to this because I have struggled in the past with being consistent in my homeschool. And when I say in the past, I mean November. I had been doing really, really well for a long time. But November, for whatever reason, kicked my booty. It was hard. Now, fortunately, we've recovered some since then. We've recovered quite a bit since then. We actually, January was a fabulous month for us. But yeah, November was hard, and I'm not quite sure what it was. And we know that um, February is coming. Like today. Today is February. Today is February, and February is hard for homeschoolers. So I think it's a good topic for us to talk about right now. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that keep us from being consistent with our homeschooling. And I'm going to let you guys, you can drop things over in the comments if you want to and tell me some of the struggles that you have. Just in case I don't get yours, just in case I miss yours, what is it that keeps you from being consistent in your homeschool? Drop it over there for me because it's I want to know, and it might be something that I talk about in the future. I know that in the wintertime, especially, sickness is one of those things that really keeps us from being consistent. So inconsistency in our homeschooling is not always something that we have control over. A lot of times we do, but sometimes we don't. And so I think, especially with families with a lot of little kids, they really struggle with consistency in their homeschooling because you wake up in the morning, somebody sounds like a seal, and you've got to like load everybody up and take them off to the doctor's office because you've got to have it taken care of. I mean, we've had kids with RSV here. We've had kids with, slight cases of bronchitis and the croup and all kinds of things. And so, you feel like the worst mom in the world. You've got to take them to the doctor's office. So I had some tips actually in my post today about packing yourself a doctor's appointment bag, and taking it with you and having things in there like math review sheets. It never hurts anyone to review addition, subtraction, or multiplication facts, or some handwriting sheets, some clipboards, some pens. If you have some old iPods or MP3 players laying around, and you're going to be in and out of the doctor's office this month, keeping them charged up and ready to go, and some audiobooks on there, and just having a bag, throw in a couple of books. Maybe they're books that don't quite make it into your morning time, but they're still about the topic that you're studying. And just pack that doctor's bag. And that way, when you get into the doctor's office, you can do kind of a bare minimum school day and feel like, okay, we sat here for an hour waiting for the doctor, but everybody got a little math done, everybody got a little handwriting done, and everybody either, listened to a book or read one. And you can say that kept us consistent. Now, and it's like I said in the post, if this is an emergency, if somebody's bleeding or has a broken arm, or you're holding a baby who is just feeling horrible, don't sweat it. Let the school day go. But, if this is something that's coming up a lot, then yeah, it might be something that you want to do. And Amanda just said MVD, that's our minimum viable day, which we talk about in our homeschool consistency boot camp, which will be opening up later this month in February. It's one of the tools and techniques that we use to help us be more consistent. So, oh, Amy, that's a great idea. Yes, geography and grammar songs, they're fun even when sick. Listening to mom read aloud is fun even when you're sick. And when mom is sick, documentaries, Magic School Bus, anybody else, Liberty Kids, what was some of the other ones? Wild Kratts. Your kids will learn so much from that. So put it on and then sit and talk to them about it. Read a book, do a math review sheet or a math app, and call it a good day. So sickness is one of the things. I see a lot of people saying toddlers derail them. I am going to be honest with you guys. When my youngest was 13 months old to probably about 20 to 23 months old. Yes, that 21-month-old, Amy, right there. When my youngest was that age, my oldest was only 6. We didn't homeschool at all those months. I didn't care what time of year it was. It didn't matter to me that it was in the middle of the school year. That was hard. And we did not homeschool during that time. So I hear what you're saying. And I just had the luxury of doing it because my oldest was 6. And so we kind of, we did some before and we did some after, and we called it good. I know a lot of people don't have that luxury. They have kids who are farther apart in ages. And so you're going to have to get really creative, schooling as much as you can and getting those hard things done during nap time. We're going to hope that that little one still naps. Putting them in a high chair or a booster seat with small bits of food, or a popsicle that they've got to pick up, or, something to keep them quiet and occupied. Right now, Jessica has, oh gosh, how old's Peter now? I guess he's a year and a half. And so she has a pen for him, one of those larger baby pens. In my day, we would have called them a playpen, but these are like gate things that go on the floor and give them like a really big area to explore. She puts all kinds of toys in there. When she's working with some of the older kids, some of the other older kids get in with him and play with him, and he's right there where they are. So he doesn't feel like he is being left out because he's not in another room, but he is in the play yard right there where they are. And so she's able to steal snatches of the day to work with certain kids or things like that. So that's something that you can do as well. So yeah, being as creative as possible and not being tied to the idea that, well, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. We have to sit down now and do school, and we have to do our hardest things right now because your toddler's going at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know any toddlers who don't go at 8 o'clock in the morning. They're like up and full of energy. Wait until they crash, wait until nap time, then do the hard things. But just get out of the mindset that school has to start at 8, or hard things have to be done first at 8 just because that was the way you did things when you were going to school. Another barrier to consistent homeschooling is often ourselves. Ourselves and our, I'm going to call them selfish pursuits. And I'm not saying that in a bad, mean, judgmental way. I mean, I have my selfish pursuits. I would much rather be reading Karen Glass's new book, or reading a fluff book, the next book in the Mitford series, or working at my computer or scrolling through Facebook on my phone or something like that instead of homeschooling my kids some days. So, my own pursuits, when I am the one who is keeping the school day from getting started like it should, that's another barrier to homeschooling. And that just comes, discipline. And it goes back to the Charlotte Mason quote where she said, there is enough time for everything if everything is given its proper time. And I'm paraphrasing there. Dawn might can tell you what volume that's from. I can't. I don't know Charlotte Mason that well, but I love that quote. And Dawn, I think that's in Brandy's, you probably know the post I'm talking about. I can't even think it. Like, do the work of homeschooling. It might be where that one is, but which is an excellent post, you guys. But what I find, if I get up in the morning and get started like I am supposed to, the homeschooling never takes as much time as I think it's going to. We always finish much earlier because we got started early, and then I have plenty of time to do the things that I wanted to do or the other things that I needed to do. And so it's one of those things that I have to constantly remind myself about, because I always have this deep-seated fear in the morning that if I don't get these other things done first and then start homeschooling, that I'm not going to have time to do them, that the homeschooling is going to take all day. It doesn't. The homeschooling only takes all day when I don't start it until 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. So, that's just one of the things. I am a huge barrier, and I've written about this before on the blog. Dawn is going to drop a link to Dear Self, Why You Stink at Homeschool Consistency. Yeah, that one I wrote for me, because it was something that, 2.5 years ago that I was really struggling with. So that one takes time, and it takes working on me from the inside out. So don't expect to fix that one overnight. You're constantly going to have to work on your self-talk and uh, and just realizing that it's really true. When you get up and get started in the morning, you will be done much sooner than you realize, and you've had a good day. And we're going to be back next week, I believe, is when we're coming back to talk about some of the benefits of homeschooling consistently. So I'm not going to get into that right now, but just talking about the barriers. Another thing that we tend to do to ourselves as homeschoolers is we tend to overschedule ourselves during the school day. And we did a Facebook Live on this one last fall, called Honoring Your School Day, and why it's important to set aside time each day that you label as school time. These are our school hours. And we're not going to do other things during that time unless it is an absolute emergency. So I'm not going to schedule doctor's appointments during that time. I'm not going to run errands during that time. I'm going to do everything within my power to honor that time as a time that we are doing school. And then I'm going to tell my mother-in-law, and I'm going to tell my mother, and I'm going to tell my teenage child who is off at college, who's graduated from my homeschool, and I'm going to tell my husband, God bless him, that these are school hours. Please don't call me unless it's an emergency. And just to let them know that when they call, what happens when they call? Because what happens when they call? Like, the kids scatter in 50 different directions. Even if they know, like, they know what they should be doing. They should still be sitting there at the table. But the minute you turn your back, anybody under the age of 10 is probably going to scatter. And so, the 12-year-old will keep doing what she's supposed to be doing. And the second one, he's getting there. But, they just totally get off track, or they start fighting and bickering with each other, or something like that starts happening. And so it completely derails your day. And I think some of these people who call you during that time, you're home and not doing anything because you're not working. If they knew what an impact it had on your day, they would probably call you less. So I think just communicating that with them, letting them know that these things really derail the school day. I mean, shoot, the mailman derails the school day at my house. So these distractions are bad. All right, so there are just a few things, and then Dawn's been dropping some links for you. The post that published today on proactive homeschooling or how to homeschool and still get most things done, that one has a lot of good tips for you in there. It has some things in there about scheduling appointments and honoring your day, the tip about the bag that I gave you earlier, things like that. Minimum viable morning, great little ebook. Yes, that will get you started on what is the bare minimum I need to do every morning in order to set myself up for a good school day. And it's not get up early and exercise. It's not get up and have an hour-long quiet time. It's not wake up 3 hours before your kids do, and none of that stuff. It's just the things, the bare minimum things you need to do to get your day started in such a way that when your kids are ready, when you're ready to start school, your school day is going to go well. So that's a good one too. Okay, somebody asked about the book. So I'm going shameless plug, and Better Together. This is the new book on Morning Time. It's a second edition. So it's a second edition to the Your Morning Basket book that had been on my site. And if you have the Your Morning Basket book, you will be getting an updated PDF of this book on March 13th, and you don't have to buy anything. If you want a book to hold in your hand, though, it's really kind of fun, and it's soft, and it's pretty. Melinda Martin designed this for me, and she did a fabulous job. So this is now available for pre-order on Amazon. There are going to be pre-order bonuses. We don't have all that together and up yet. Really soon, we're going to have it where you can come over to a web page and enter your email address that you and your receipt number that you bought the book, and get on the list for pre-order bonuses, which we'll be sending out in a week or two. But right now, Amazon's got this on sale. They just dropped the price on it today, and it's $9 and change. So it's 24% off. I remember that. So you can head over and get a copy of this if you want to, and just watch this space for the next couple of weeks. We're going to have an opportunity for you to join a Facebook group and enter into some contests helping us promote the book and morning time and things like that. And for those of you who will be coming to GHCs, I will have copies of this there at GHC. So if you order your book and you come to GHC, I'm going to have some little postcards I'm going to sign if you happen to want an autograph. Boy, that sounds pretentious, me saying that, but just in case you were wondering. But if you buy your book there, I'll sign it for you there if you want me to. Like I said, that sounds really pretentious. But anyway, I just want to make you guys happy. That's all. All right. So, drop questions, anything that you have down there in the comments, and Dawn and I will be on here to answer them for you. We will be back next week. And like I said, I am 99% sure that next week is all about, oh no, I lied. It's about being proactive and the daily docket. We're actually going to have a little gift for you guys next Thursday to help you with your proactive homeschooling. So that's what next week is about. So yay. And then February 15th is about the benefits to being consistent. So that's what we've got coming up. And I thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next week. So you guys have an awesome, awesome week.